What's up, y'all? Today I'm gonna do something pretty quick, pretty simple, but I think would be really helpful given I've been doing a lot of golf tips lately, and that is your golf stance. Where the ball should be depending on which club you're using in your stance. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this image as a reference right here. This, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this. And look, before I even get into this, I'm just gonna come out here and say, do what works. Like, if you think that none of this is working, then don't do it. Like, just because I say you should be doing this doesn't mean you should do it. Look at Scotty Scheffler's swing. Why does he does a weird shuffle? Like, just because he does it doesn't mean you should do it. And just because people tell him what his stance is not correct and his swing's not correct doesn't mean anything. He can hit the ball and he's the best player in the world right now. So, also before this video starts, I do want to say this is kind of targeted for beginners. A lot of bogey golfers and lower will already know this stuff. But generally, it's still good to have this information. And I also want to give my take on it. Keep in mind, swing your swing. But if you can't stop chunking your ball or thinning it, then maybe this could be the problem and this could really help. So we're going to start it from your wedges. We're going to start down and up. Basically, it says here your pitching wedges all the way to your lob wedge being your 60 degree. Any of your wedges should be middle back of your stance. I agree with that. This is what I do. That's traditionally what I like to do. Some other people might disagree. A lot of people will actually say your wedges should be middle of your stance, closer to your 7 and 8 iron. A lot of people say that's the farthest back you should go. Not necessarily. I kind of don't disagree. I kind of disagree with that. But it's mostly my swing. I like with my wedges. I like to come down on the ball and get the ball first, and then get into the ground. And to do that, I have to put it back in my stance. But for the most part, that's what you want to do. Now, putting it middle of the stance, I can understand that. But this is where you need to fix your swing if you're doing this. Do not put your wedges in the front of your stance. If your wedges are over by the 6-7 iron range in your stance, like right here, that is bad. You don't want that. That's how you chunk the ball. Because like I said with your wedges, you need to contact the ball first and get into the ground. And then once you do that, you're gonna really get into the ground, and that's when you take a divot. If you put the ball in the front of your stance with a wedge, you're gonna get the ground and then the ball's going 20 yards. You're gonna chunk it. If you put it 8 iron-ish and you're still chunking the ball, then I would recommend put it more back in the stance. Keep in mind, I'd say anywhere from wedge to 8 iron is where that's appropriate. And I'm gonna say the same thing for 9 and 8. I think anywhere in this range is appropriate. If you need to put the 8 iron in the back of the stance, that's okay. Everyone has different swings. If you a lot of the times with your 8 and 9 iron, you'll be coming down on the ball like your wedges. If you're coming down on the ball, you need to put it in the back because you're gonna get into the ground. And if you put it in the front or middle, you can get into the ground before the ball, and that's a catastrophe. 7-6. I'm purposely trying to say 7-6 and not 6-7. Your 7 and 6 iron, this is appropriate. I think middle right here is good. Your 7 and 6 iron, you're gonna get a lot less of the ground. You really want to catch the ball clean, and to do that, you need to put it in the middle of your stance. This is where things might be getting controversial here, but personally, we'll look at the 4 iron. To me, this is way too far in your stance. I don't think this 4 iron should be that far in front. With your irons, because your irons are different, you're getting into the ground a little bit, and it's a very small club head with very little loft. So your 5 and 4 iron, this far in front of your stance, isn't good. Because what happens is naturally you're going to start to close that face to try to line it up properly. And when you do that, you're basically swinging a putter. It's not easy. I will say swinging your 5 iron and below is, to me, the hardest clubs to hit. I can't hit mine for my life. I will always end up hitting a 3 wood, 3 or 5 wood. But in general, I feel like having these too far in the stance, what'll happen is you'll start to swing up on the ball. That's how you top it. That's how you fit it. You don't want to do that. So I'd say up to the 6, maybe the 5 iron. It could depend on your swing, because keep in mind, if you like kind of shift forward with your swing, then you're going to probably want to put it more in the front of your stance. But you got to know your swing. If you stay back and come down, then you're probably going to want to put your low irons in the middle of your stance. If you're pretty even, you kind of gonna want your low irons to be about the 5 iron range, 6 iron range. If you come forward in your swing, you're probably going to want to be between the 5 and 4. But I don't think any iron should be the 4 or past it. Like, I just don't think that's really correct. If it works for you, then keep it. Don't listen to me. But I think generally speaking, for beginners, you know, with your irons, you're going to start to swing up on the ball, and you're supposed to lead with your hands, and it wouldn't work out. And it doesn't work out. I mean, generally, I haven't met someone who puts it that far in front of their stance and can hit it well. I'm not giving you this tip through my own thoughts and opinions. It's kind of through my experience. But once again, though, do whatever's comfortable with you. Your 5 and 3 wood, I also kind of have to disagree with. Your 3 wood and 5 wood do not get into the ground that much. And this, I guess you could say this with your hybrid as well. Actually, hybrid's a little different. Hybrid, we'll get into hybrid right now. Hybrid, you're supposed to swing like an iron, because a hybrid is a mix between a wood and an iron. It has the distance of a wood, but you could swing it like an iron. Because of that, and we're talking about swing and not distance, I'd say your hybrid should probably be around the 5 iron range, not this far. Because once again, if you're leading with your hands, you're going to come up on the ball if it's that far in front of your stance, and you're going to top it. 3 wood and 5 wood, I don't really say, I wouldn't recommend it here. I would recommend 3 and 5 around the 4 and 5 iron range. That's kind of where I do it. Actually, sometimes my 5 wood I'll put at like the 6 iron range. Sometimes I'll do that. It depends on the day. But my swing changes every day. But the reason I say this is because you swing your woods differently than an iron. How you're supposed to... I made a video on this, on how you swing your driver and hit it straight. Check that out. I think I kind of summarized it pretty well. But that applies to your woods as well. It's not supposed to be a really come down on it firm hands. Lead with them. When you swing your woods and your driver, it's supposed to be like a flick. You let the driver come around and do the work. You let it go and flick it through. That is how you're supposed to swing it. Because of that, having your woods this far in front of your stance, I wouldn't recommend it. If it is on a tee, though, I would say to put it here. But if you're in the fairway, you have no room to come up on that ball. You have to put it more back. But if it's on a tee, depending how high, if it's higher, you can put it a little more in front, because in that instance, you want to swing up on the ball. And lastly, your driver. I agree with this. I think this is fair. Sometimes I think it's very excusable if you want to put it in the 5 wood range. I think that's fine. But I think this is very big based on what your driver will normally do. If you normally will fade the ball and put like a slice on it, then I'd say to put it right here, because then it gives... Because of your swing, the driver head has time to come around and square up with the ball. If you tend to draw it and hook it, then I'd say to put it around the 5 wood range. And if you hit it straight, I'd say about the 3 wood range. It's really, you got to know your swing. You got to know what your driver will normally do. But similarly to the 3 and 5 wood, your driver is normally on a tee. So what you want to do in that instance is swing up on the ball to get it up there. And similarly, you want to also flick it through so that pendulum swings, hits up on the ball, like that, and launches it. And none of you are hitting driver off the deck. We all want to, but none of us can. So, but that is it. That's a quick summary of what I personally would say to do with the ball in your stance, in terms of what you need to swing. I hope this was helpful. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know what else you guys want me to go over. If you're still wondering what the hell is going on with track, because it is middle of September now and I haven't done a track video, it's coming. I gotta wait on it. I don't have any meets soon, so I can't really do any track videos, so I'm kind of sticking with golf right now. But thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.